Manchester City embarrassed in Paris, 2-0 up. They lose 4-2. Arsenal score 3, concede none. A professional performance for the Gunners tonight. Join us now for the full fan highlight show. Hit the like button. Make sure you're subscribing. Let's go.
I've got nothing left. I've got nothing left.
Shocking live scenes right there from Pep Guardiola and his team in the Manchester City dressing room. They led 2-0 tonight. Halftime substitutions made. They look to have had a brilliant impact to begin with. Jack Grealish with his first touch, smashing the ball into the back of the net after a brilliant run on the outside. Then 3 minutes later, they go forward again. A brilliant driving run from Núñez. A good ball into the box from Jack Grealish that deflects and lands to Haaland 3 yards out. He taps it in. It's 2-0. You think City are all good. They pretty much guarantee themselves a place in the playoffs. And we've all been looking at City recently and asking ourselves, have they turned the corner, Man City? Have they become not as formidable as they were last season when they did the 4-peat, the campaign before when they won the Champions League? But they've been on an unbeaten run. They've been scoring goals. Could they take a lead and see it out? Could they control the game after that point? No. Paris Saint-Germain, who are struggling themselves in the Champions League this year, been famed for having no bottle when it comes to Champions League football. And tonight was almost like a knockout game. It was almost whoever loses goes out. Well, Paris Saint-Germain would almost certainly have gone out had they have lost tonight. City now need to win at home. They cannot draw. They, of course, can't lose. If they draw or lose at home to Club Brugge, they are out in this. But PSG took over from that point. The crowd went quiet, but fair play to Luis Enrique's side because they grabbed the ball by the horns and they just started pressing and attacking and they didn't let up. And PSG have been accused for many years of having no heart, having no fight. And I think when they had the Galacticos there, they were carrying too many stars, too many players that wouldn't put in an honest, hard-working shift in games, wouldn't press, wouldn't track back. But they did it magnificently. They did well in the first half. But after going 2-0 down, PSG was sublime. Absolutely sublime. And the opening goal for them, the touch to put the ball through the legs of, I want to say it was Núñez. If it's somebody else, please correct me. From Barcola, who then just brilliantly dribbles towards the goal. And then you see the intelligent little checking of the run from Ousmane Dembele. A brilliant cutback, a great decision, a tap-in, a FIFA-esque goal. They're back in the game. And then a few moments later, a brilliant shot that hits the crossbar. And Barcola, who I think was one of the best players on the pitch, maybe even the man of the match, taps it in. And it's 2-2. But City never got going again after that. It blew the stuffing out of City. It took away any kind of confidence that they may have been able to generate, that they had in the game. They were absolutely finished after that point. And then a wonderful free kick to me, who I would give man of the match to, is João Neves. The ball crossed to the back post. A brilliant diving header by the young man. Makes it 3-2. And then right at the end, a little controversial, but it does come off a City player. And there he was, Ramos, who I haven't seen play very much since he scored a hat-trick in the World Cup, although a couple of years ago, brilliantly finishes it, puts it away, makes it 4-2, and it was thoroughly deserved. But what does this do to Manchester City's confidence? What does it do for the rest of their season moving forward? Because I think there would have been a lot of City fans who would have been looking at this situation and saying to themselves, I think we're turning a corner. Maybe we're back. Maybe we can now win the Champions League. Maybe we can now win the FA Cup. Maybe we can get higher up in the league. I think after them watching that tonight, more anxiety will be back. The midfield. Listen, Omar Mamouche, excellent attacker. doesn't fix the midfield problem, in my opinion. They brought I think they've got 2 young defenders coming in. Maybe they're it and they're ready to go straight away, but we will see. I now understand more than ever why they're looking at Douglas Luiz, because the middle of that park tonight was run through. They need to improve it. No doubt about that whatsoever. Give us your thoughts, give us your feelings, give us your opinions in the comment section below. I want to hear from you right now, my people. I need to hear from you, because that was crazy. What an amazing couple of nights of Champions League football. Yesterday with Benfica and Barcelona. Tonight with Paris Saint-Germain and Manchester City. 2 epic games. I love the new format. The new format, in my personal opinion, is an absolute thing of beauty. I'm enjoying it. And look, there's jeopardy straight away. The last time I checked as well, Bayern Munich were losing 2-0. I had that game on. I weren't watching it, but it was on in the room. I turned it off to go live. And yeah, wow. I was Parisian tonight. I agree with you, Jamie. I was pretty Parisian as well. As for Arsenal tonight, look, I thought Arsenal they lost 3-0. Oh, Harry, please, football gods, I'm praying to you. You know that I make my bed every morning. I make sure my children are washed, cleaned, and fed every day. You know the charities that I give to. I pray to you, please stop them from winning any domestic trophies this year, Bayern Munich. I want the Harry Kane curse to continue simply because it's fun. Please, because it is fun, because it is amazing. I pray to you, Lord Almighty football gods, to stop Bayern Munich, Bayern München from winning anything again. Please, I pray to you. Thank you. Hopefully they hear my prayers. Hopefully they hear my prayers. But as I was saying about Arsenal, I thought Arsenal tonight were comfortable, professional by and large, scored a brilliant opening goal. I really love the directness from Martinelli. He's got to do that more. A nice touch back to Declan Rice and a first-time shot on the volley to make it 1-0. 3-0 scoreline is deserved by Arsenal tonight. There's no doubt about it. But I'm going to look at the Gooners backstage when I say this, and I think I'm going to get nods. It would have just been nicer for them if those 2 goals would have come a bit earlier in the game. I think because what you saw tonight from Arsenal is a team that is very nervous, a team that is definitely carrying the weight of a number of games recently that, you know, against Man United, against Aston Villa, against Fulham, Brighton, games that they probably should have won, where they've leaked goals or they haven't killed games off. And you could see it. There was a sort of nervousness and anxiety in the stadium. And by the time that second and third goal went in, the third goal come very, very late, you could almost hear a bit of a party atmosphere at the, sorry, I need to move my phone. It's interfering with my mic. At the Emirates. That's what the stadium's called. Forgot. So they just need more of that, but earlier in the game, because we know this is still a very good Arsenal team. They're third in the Champions League. You've got to remember, they're third in the Champions League. Still only conceded 2 goals. I think they've got, 18 goals they've scored now. I'm going to say 18 because yesterday when I looked, it was on 15. So it must be 18 after scoring 3 today. But I'm going to go and check the standings and table right now in case I've got that wrong. Is there only 14 goals? Or maybe it was, it was 11 goals yesterday. So we'll be at 14. Sorry, who had 15 goals that I looked at yesterday? Somebody. It doesn't matter who had 15 goals yesterday and now has 18. But anyway, it was professional from Arsenal. I thought Kai Havertz played well. Good assist. Well-timed finish on his goal. I thought that Odegaard grew into the game, but still I think he turns and doesn't take enough risks in attacking areas. And I'd say my biggest bit of feedback for Arsenal would be get that ball into the box earlier. And I don't just mean knock it out your feet and cross. Knock it out your feet and cross. Have a little bit of invention. But you saw Ethan Nwaneri when he came on. Yes, he might try and beat a man, but he's looking to square a ball straight away. The second goal, both the first 2 goals came from driving or getting the ball into a crossing or a cutback area and just doing it. And I think far too often Arsenal will be in that position, are going to cut back and we'll rework it again, cut back and rework it again. And you always give your opponents time to settle. I think there are moments where Arsenal just need to take a bit more risk losing the ball, but get it into that box sooner, whether it be a through ball, a cut back, or cross, whichever it may be. Keep that ball moving quickly. Because look, we know they've got to go into the transfer window and spend, but there's a chance in the Champions League this year. Will they come in the top two? I don't know. But remember, the top two in the knockout stages play the second legs at home. The higher you finish, the easier the draw you get. You get a team that's much lower down in the league table. So you'll get a team, Arsenal will get a team like Benfica, Sporting Lisbon, Stuttgart, Club Brugge, PSV as it stands right now. Of course, you've got to be good. You've got to play to the best of your ability, but you'd like that in the round of 16, surely, right? I think they'd like that. And again, so they're going to get a quote unquote easier team in the next round. And I just think Arsenal want that. They're probably now going to avoid the additional game. So how many teams could overtake them? You've got Brest, Lille. Can they, though? Arsenal's goal difference is plus 12, right? So Aston Villa are on the same points, on 13 points, but plus 5 goal difference. No one can. Listen, mathematically, they can, but it would mean Brest, Lille, Feyenoord, Villa would all have to win their final games and win them by about 6 or 7-0, and Arsenal lose for Arsenal to now drop outside of the top 8. It's pretty much done for them. And that's an achievement in itself so far this season, because a lot of people might have predicted Arsenal not to. You would expect City and PSG to be much higher in the league. You would have expected Bayern Munich to be much higher in the league. Probably would have expected, looking at the names here, Juve, maybe even Dortmund after getting to a final last year, to be much higher in the league. So they've done a very good job. Got to go out in the window again. But today I thought Arsenal, professional, just got to get that ball into the box quicker. I will say as well, and if Arsenal fans think I'm being negative, I don't care. I think it needs to be said. Go and get Cunha or go and get Šeško and cancel the contract of Raheem Sterling. I don't even mean this rudely. He's physically finished. He's physically finished. He looks so slow and so old and so tired when he tries to move. So genuinely, Arsenal, cancel that loan, send him back to Chelsea, make them pay all his wages. If you can, of course, do this. And whatever you're paying him, offer that additional to someone like Šeško. Offer it additional to Cunha to bring them in now. Because, yes, Saka's going to return. Ethan Nwaneri is now back. But Saka's just not it. It's never going to happen. Recently, I said I think he needs a run of games. I'm wrong. I'm absolutely wrong. I think physically the man is finished. So move him on. Going to go to some of your comments that have come through today. Let's take a little look here. First one says, Arsenal's defence and midfield is set up to go far in the Champions League, especially how other big clubs are struggling with the new format. Big up Zagreb away fans. Yeah, the away fans were amazing today. And again, I'll say this, even when you made mistakes in possession, you recovered very well. But I look at it right now, honestly, my top 3 picks to win this tournament: Liverpool, followed by Arsenal. They're my top 3, purely based on the fact that it's 2 goals conceded each for Liverpool and Arsenal and 1 goal conceded for Inter Milan. You're my top 3. And the reason that I say that is I look at all the other teams that you might class as favourites. Madrid, listen, people might put them up there. And I'm going to I'm changing that. I'm stupid. I'm going with Liverpool, followed by Inter, followed by Madrid, followed by Arsenal. I can't put Arsenal above Madrid, even with the goal stuff, the lack of goals being conceded. I just forgot about Madrid when I was talking. Sorry. But still scored 17, but conceded 12 so far. You look at Bayern Munich, conceded 11 and lost 3 games. But Madrid have lost 3 games, but we know they're great in knockout stages, okay? You look at Paris Saint-Germain. Yes, they won tonight. They've only scored 10 goals, but conceded 8 so far this tournament. Man City scored 15, conceded 13, lost 3 and drawn 2. Now, I know people say knockout football's different. Form might turn around by then. That is a fair cop. But that's my top 4 as it stands right now. And I'm going to throw a top 5 to go on the win it. I'm going to throw this in there. Just going to throw it in there and say Atalanta. Just literally as a curveball, Atalanta. So there we have it. Liverpool, followed by Inter, followed by Madrid, followed by Arsenal, then Atalanta as my top 5 at the moment, irrespective of what happens in the final game. I really do think that. Can we talk about how overrated Rico Lewis is? I'm going to defend Rico Lewis here and say a young man, when he came into a really good structured team, brilliant midfield, playing well with confidence, he's able to be nurtured without you noticing his flaws. Now that their system has broken down, the midfield has been gutted, there is no confidence, you're seeing a young player looking like a fish out of water. And this is why when it comes to the young players that Man City and United have had over the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years, it stands to reason that Cities have done better than United's. Because young players in an unstable environment, even though Cities, I think, will only be temporary, is so bad for their development. It really is. Who do you predict to win? Right now, my prediction is Liverpool to win the Champions League, followed by Inter, as I already said. I would never completely write off Real Madrid. I don't know why I forgot about them earlier. Maybe it's that I couldn't see him in the top part of the league, and I was just looking at names. But yeah, and then outside, Leverkusen, a few people saying terrible about Leverkusen. I think they're too naive in Europe to win it. I think they're too naive. Watched them yesterday. I don't think they can. Ati, you're a shout as well. Ati, you're a shout. But still, they've conceded 11 goals. I know people say, well, what about Barcelona? They're second. How can they not be in your top 5? Again, 11 goals conceded. We'll see. Next week, it's going to be chaos, all the games at the same time. Do you know what? I've decided. I'm going to decided while I was just before I went live. For the first time in 3 years, for next week's Champions League games, the Football Terrace is doing a watch along. Fuck it. The Football Terrace is doing a watch along. So make sure you're all back for that. Don't know how we're going to do it, who's going to be on it, but we're going to do a watch along of some sorts. That's what we're going to do. Have we played? Sorry. We have to play to win instead of not to lose. Come on, you gooners. I understand that. He wasn't a standout, but I liked... yes, I know who you mean. I just can't say the name. I know who you mean. Hit the like button, please, people. Make sure you're getting that done. I appreciate it if you've done it already, but please give the like button a smash. Make sure you're subscribing to the Football Terrace as well. We're bringing our panel now out to have their say, but the headline tonight, Man City 2-0 up in Paris, and they lose 4-2, battered 4-2 like an Ian Beale codfish. Arsenal win 3-0, professional win for them. In other news, okay, just to break it down for you tonight as well, because some big results. We saw Leipzig beat Sporting 2-1 earlier. Why was Eucharist on the bench most of the game? I don't know. Real Madrid, 5-1 victors tonight against Salzburg. Brilliant performance from them. Inter, 1-0 against Sparta. Judge Mo's coming on. He'll be very, very happy with that. Celtic beat Young Boys 1-0, so they should be in the playoffs now. AC Milan beat Girona. I've been really disappointed with Girona in the Champions League this year. I was expecting a little bit more. But my favorite result of the night, Final 3. Bayern Munich. The old Krauts, mate. The old Germans smashed up 3-0 by Feyenoord. Oh, Harry Kane has got a curse. He has no trophies, but a lisp. Oh, Harry Kane. He's mangled. Why do they call you Tell and your name's Terry? Tell is just short for Terry, and Terry is short for Terrence. It's just something we do in England. So there's Tell is short for Terry, and Del is short for Derek in England. So people call Del Boy, Tell, yeah. And then some people call me T. I've also been called Tez. The weirdest one, people up north do this. They call me Ter, Terr. I don't like that one. Right, Ter? I'm like, what? Ter. Cheers. But yeah, Tezza. I get a little bit of Tezza sometimes, but normally Tell. When I was growing up, my brother was always called Fluers by all the lads. Fluers. And I was Tell Fluers. So I had to have the Tell part at the front because even my mates that weren't my brother's mates, I'd still be Tell Fluers and he'd be Fluers because he was the oldest. But there we go. Right, time for the panel now, people. Some of your comments are funny. Mo is here with me. We got Saad in the house. We've got Nathan. We got Patrick. We got V. We got Matty, and we got Steve. Yeah, how I did that. So it rhymed at the end. Bars, bruv. You know what I mean? Middle-aged bars for days. Joke bars. Welcome back to the Football Terrace, gentlemen. I am going to assume all your genders and say you're all men. I'm sorry, Gooners, and I'm sorry, Steve, and I'm sorry, Mo. But first, I'm going to Patty. Another embarrassing night for Man City tonight. 2-0 up, and you fucked it up. What went wrong tonight, mate?
It's frozen again. It's frozen. Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, bro. We can hear you.
Yeah, man. Sorry, man. I just got new internet and it looks like it's not holding up. Yeah, I think I was here last week. I think you were not here. Not last week. The last match. And I remember I was telling my fellow City fans that don't get hyped up because you've smacked up Ipswich. We are still struggling. Funny thing is, a lot of City fans are getting gassed up because obviously we signed centre backs. I told them that this club clearly knows that if you don't sign a CDM, we're screwed. If you don't sign a CDM that's even average, that's at this point in time, I'm looking even for average CDM, we're not going to do well. But it is what it is. When we were are we still here? Okay, when we were 2-0, when we were 2-0 up, I still knew that somehow PSG are going to beat us. And obviously, even going to PSG, I knew we'll be lucky. Looks like PSG at first were still scared, thinking this is the old Man City. But that's what's been happening this season. Teams, first of all, they get scared, thinking, "Oh, this is the old Man City." But as soon as they smell blood, they're like, "Nah, these guys are dusted." Pep Guardiola again decided to remove Kovacic while he was having a great game, and decided to throw in Gundogan, who is a shell of himself. The team is not bad. They just finished on the middle, Terry. The middle is just non-existent. So as soon as the other team, the midfielders step up, like today, Neves, who City fans were saying last season, I said, let's get this guy. They're like, oh no, he's too young for 19, although we cannot pay 60 mil. He bossed the midfield. As soon as the midfield decided to show up for PSG, our midfield crumbled, and it's going to be like that this season. And to be honest with you, a lot of City fans think we're going to beat Club Brugge. I think we're not. I think we're going to get slapped, and we just better take the L and go home and accept that this season has been bad. But am I worried? No, I'm not worried, because at least there's a rebuild. So viva la rebuild. Yes,
yeah, look, mate, I hear you. I wouldn't be panicking in the long term if I was Man City. I do agree with you on that. I'm not going to sit here and be shameless, but listen, you should still be beating Club Brugge at home. V, do you think you'll beat Club Brugge at home after tonight's further embarrassment?
I'm not even thinking about Bruges, man. I got Chelsea next. All right. I'm thinking about this game right now, Terry. And if I'm going to go based off of this game, I can't have high expectations of winning the next one. Patrick's absolutely right. Now, we know what the problem is. We haven't been able to fix it. I don't know if we're going to go out and get a replacing body to really secure that defensive midfield. But it's the same old story, man. I mean, Ipswich was a great hiccup, a great bump in the road for us to be like, okay, you know what, it's not as bad. But this is Champions League, and there's a reason why it took us many years to win it. You got to respect the competition, and this is PSG, who we know with regards to their lack of winning the Champions League, that they were going to be highly motivated to go against us, who were able to win it before them. So it was it's the same writing on the wall, man. We are weak. We are not the defending champs of the 3-peat, of the 4-peat. We're not that club right now. So we're going to take this humbling, and we're going to have to learn from it. There's so many mistakes. I don't even want to list all of it right now. I just want to point out that we weren't good enough to win this game. As great as it was to be 2 up, we weren't good enough to win this game.
Can I just say one thing, Terry? One thing,
Yep.
I've just remembered one thing, though. Do you know what's more embarrassing also, Terry, this point in time is the PSG and the Juventus teams that have beaten us are not even the best PSG and Juventus teams out there. Because
which speaks to how bad we are. Yeah.
No, I agree. And I was going to, why do you think you couldn't cope with the press of Paris Saint-Germain tonight? Because most of the first half, especially when you went 2-0 up, every time they pressed you, they won the ball back. Your players were making mistakes. Why do you think you were so poor in that regard tonight?
Well, I gotta give PSG credit, man, because they knew where to press us. Like honestly, if you're going to make us feel any type of weakness, any type of issue, it's gonna be at Nunez, who's playing out of position. He's been good for us, but he's playing out of position. So press him. You're gonna definitely press When Gunnigan's on that pitch, when Rico's on that pitch, you're definitely going to press and try to find opportunities amongst them. And again, we don't have the legs. The reason why there's a portion of the City fan base that are very calm, right? We're not losing our heads like some other fan bases when it comes down to losses or when it comes down to what's going to happen next for our club. It's because we've seen how the club is investing. Defensively, the mistakes that we are making, right? You could clearly see that the club's investing for the future in the defense-wise. We're still asking questions like, who are we getting for the defensive midfielder? Who are we going to get moving forward? Mamouche is great, but that's more so attacking. Who are we going to get that's really going to solidify our midfield? We're still waiting to see. If we happen to not advance out of this Champions League, we deserve it. We honestly deserve it.
I understand that. I want to ask you a question about some of the subs tonight, and maybe it goes back into a super chat earlier about Rico Lewis, because you bring on Jack Grealish and you bring on Rico Lewis. Savinho and Ruben Diaz, I didn't necessarily think they did anything wrong in the first half. Maybe it's come out that Diaz has picked up an injury. But I thought Grealish, barring his goal, was anonymous in the game, and Rico Lewis got cooked. Are you looking at that as a mistake from Pep Guardiola taking off Savio, who I thought was cooking quite well down that left-hand side, was dribbling well, and obviously taking off your best centre-back that you were all begging to come back for Rico Lewis? Was that big mistakes from Pep Guardiola tonight?
To properly answer that, I got to hear the press conference. Like, I need to know what the reason was to take. I mean, Ruben did have a yellow. I'd be surprised if that's why Pep took him off, because Ruben can still play contain. He's our general. He dictates that back line. So I'd be surprised if that was the reason to sub him off. And again, for Savinho, I don't know why he would have taken him off. Whether it's a mistake, again, who else would Pep had brought on for those two players as well? It speaks to what we have available in terms of quality of players. Jack gave us a goal. That's what we want. Honestly, two goals in Champions League to have to then lean on your defense should be enough. We should be giving up 4 goals in the second half. Like, that's absolutely ridiculous. So I don't know if I'm gonna say that Pep made a mistake taking those players off. I'd like to know what the reasons were. But we're not good, Terry.
Bro, Pep doesn't know how to defend, bro. He's never studied that. That's the reality. He just doesn't know, bro. Why do people can't see this? He just doesn't know how to have his team defend.
Mo is the best. Mo just waited for you to say all of that, and he said, Pep just doesn't know how to defend, man. Like
I'm telling you guys, you know what? Pep Guardiola, all his career relied on one thing. Don't do faces. Relied on one thing, right? Which worked the best. That's why he's the best. That's why he's the best league manager, because he relied so much on having the ball and smother the opposition, dispossess the opposition once he loses the ball, and he doesn't concede a lot of chances. In Barcelona as well, when he coached Barcelona, every time a team bypasses his press, the problem is he concedes goals. The problem today is that Luis Enrique set up his team better than Pep. Is it because of quality confidence? You cannot convince me that Pep wanted to give Paris Saint-Germain the ball when he was 3-2 down. The ball position after Man City conceded even the third goal is Paris Saint-Germain 60, Man City 40. Don't tell me that is by design. Because if that is by design, he is stupid to take Savinho off, because Savinho and Haaland are the best two on the counter-attack. Let me finish the point, and then you can respond, right? The problem with Man City as a team is that when you were put under pressure today, when PSG kept pressing, the chances kept coming in the first half, and there was a time that would come in and you would collapse defensively. That's how it is, because these players are not trained to receive pressure that amount of time. For the whole game, PSG had the ball and Man City were defending. You were playing transition-based football, counter-attacking. Stats show that when I was watching the game, every time I looked, literally, Man City were trying to get the ball off the PSG players and they couldn't. This Pep Guardiola doesn't know how to defend. He's never, it's not embedded in his brain. He needs to attack. That is why you lost the game. You need to attack as well.
So sorry, Mo, were you saying that Pep gave up possession, or he wasn't able to get possession? I'm trying to understand the point you're trying to make.
I don't know what he said I don't know what he said in the dressing room, but it doesn't make any sense.
No. The stats what you're looking at. You're trying to say that it looked like City gave up possession. What?
City couldn't get the position out of PSG even after being 3-2 down, which is something I believe that if you go back to every single game that City played in the history of Pep Guardiola, City were never down conceding possession. I dare anyone in the chat to give me one game in the history of the 8 years of Pep where he had less possession than the opposition when he was down.
And I think some of, do you know what? I think it's a great point. I think some of it that has got to do with personnel. Some players have got old, I understand. But I'm just looking at Jack Grealish. He scored a great strike when he came on. I did think the UK commentators were overdoing it. They were like, it's a great strike. They went, so easy to kick it over from there. I'm thinking anyone kicks it over from there, they should be ridiculed, right? I don't know where you guys were listening to it. It might have been different. But he only had 15 touches of the ball in the entire game. He only attempted 8 passes in the entire game. No dribbles, no crosses, no through balls. So for me, if that was a less technical player, a team with less recent success, the word would be, why was player X hiding? Why wasn't he getting involved? Why wasn't he getting stuck in? For me, I looked at Jack Grealish as an example. I wouldn't put it all on him because I think Rico Lewis was being cooked. I thought Edison in goal was. These are all little reasons. I thought Rico Lewis was poor on the ball. Edison really bad in his distribution as an example.
Yeah, so Bernardo didn't have a good game either. Yeah,
Bernardo. I mean, not just the nutmeg, but everything. So it's a lot of these players, and these guys are normally good at it. And for me, tonight was, and I agree with what Patrick said. Tonight was a real acid test because you've been on a winless. So on a winning streak with no defeats, 4 or 5 games. You scored goals against obviously Salford and you scored goals against Ipswich. But tonight I felt like it was, no, exactly. No, but I agree. But this is why I was saying on a few of the match reactions, and I got called salty. But it was a case of a lot of those teams still, other than Ipswich, I thought were really, really poor. All of those teams had really good chances to score against you, and I was intrigued to see what was going to happen when you were up against a decent team. And I will say this about Paris Saint-Germain. They were raving about them on television here. And I thought they were really good tonight in their shape. I thought João Neves was good. But what I would say is they've been worse than you in the Champions League this year. So it's not even a good PSG team. I'd be worried. I'd be worried about the rest of the season. I really, really would.
Can I say one thing though? The machine is broken right now, and people have to just admit that. Like, the team is not great, and the funny thing is, there's nothing even to say at this point. Like, what I have to say, I have said multiple times when I've come here. I already said at the beginning of the season when I called a plastic fraud. When I told people that we have to be careful, we're conceding within 50 seconds. We are conceding within 1 minute. I was like, this is going to hurt us. At the end of the day, the team needs to be changed. City got too cocky, and the funny thing is, we're still being cocky in the market. We're buying centre backs, and Douglas Luiz is there, and some City fans are telling me he's not good enough. Yet this is the same Douglas Luiz we were all crying for last season, saying, why is he going to Juventus? Just because he's not working at Juve doesn't mean it's going to work for what we have right now. Douglas is way better. And the funny thing about City, Terry, the only time they're paying is for centre backs. We have so many centre backs. We can operate with the centre backs we have. But guess what? For a centre midfielder, they're asking Juventus for a loan and they don't want to pay 30 million, which is funny. But they're paying 60 for a kid from Brazil who people told me that this kid is the next best thing, but I don't even know who this kid is. They're also
just about to sign the Chelsea midfielder, Juve. Is it Casadei? I think it's him.
Casadei is linked to Torino and Lazio.
Who is it that I'm looking at here? No, sorry, Vega. Renato Vega. So here we go. He's that Patakin is a real one. He started so many games for them in the Conference League this year, but yeah, he's just gone to Juve. So I'll see. I wonder what that means. I want to throw this out to the panel. I know we're going to get into Arsenal. I want to throw this to the panel. Is tonight one of those games, even though we scored, where Haaland is a passenger or considered a passenger for Manchester City?
I know that a lot of Arsenal fans don't watch the game. I thought Haaland.
I watched the game.
I actually thought he was not bad, Terry. To be honest with you, I thought it was all right. Okay? He wasn't bad at all. I thought Haaland was good. Like, I thought Haaland was occupying the 18. I thought every time they gave him the ball, he delivered the pass to a teammate. It was not a problem with Haaland, to be honest with you. But again, is Pep playing to his strength like he was in the treble season? Not really. He's not. He's asking him to do
primarily
things out of the ordinary. And they aren't even putting the ball in the box for him, to be honest with you, not often. So he's not a passenger, but I'm gonna let the City guys. But I thought he didn't have a bad game.
Can I say one thing?
I mean, I think.
Sorry, let me go to Nathan, then I'll go to you, Gal. Sorry, go on, Nathan.
I think with Haaland, I think the issue he has is because he's such a great striker, people then believe he's a great player in terms of all-round game, and that gets criticised when in reality his best work, as Matt just touched on, is in the box, right? He is, Inzaghi on steroids. He's a physical specimen who needs service. He can't take the ball and create magic by himself. He's not that type. That's not within his game, and you kind of got to understand what the player is. And obviously that's used as a bat by rival fans and other spectators to beat Haaland with. And unfortunately, he's always going to get that. But if you feed Haaland and you put him in positions to prosper, you continue putting him in dangerous situations, you will see you will reap the rewards. I mean, for me, when I looked at this game today, I was watching both games. My game was quite boring, so I had both games on, and I think personnel-wise is a massive issue for City. When you look at that midfield three of Kovacic, Bernardo Silva, and I think it was KDB that was in there, that's not a midfield that's capable of dealing with transitions, capable of defending spaces, right? And if you're playing, especially against an athletic, team who've got a lot of ball carriers, Desiree Doué at PSG, they've got Barcola, Dembele when he came on. A lot of players who are dynamic. These players are not going to be able to. They're not ball winners. They're not people that are going to help you in those type of situations, and that got exploited today. And I think a big part of it is personnel. You can't teach Bernardo Silva to be a ball winning midfielder. That's just not his game. And until it's the whole square pegs and round hole argument right now with Man City for me. Until they address that,
I hear you on that.
They're still going to have issues.
I was going to speak on City also. I was just going to say, but we always speak about Erling Haaland and we always speak about the main stars, but I feel like the players around him are failing him more than he's failing the team himself. And I'm not picking at Foden today because Foden I felt like had a decent game compared to the rest of the guys. Savio, Kevin De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva. Those are and more Bernardo Silva and Kevin De Bruyne than Savio. These guys are supposed to be players up there, one of the better players in the team, one of the more senior players, and they're not performing like it, especially Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva has now turned into what we criticize other players that are only like when he scores or he contributes through getting a goal contribution. That's the only time you say he's having a good game. I don't really see him having good games off the ball. I don't really see him having good games throughout the 90 minutes. And maybe it's just because I don't watch Man City.
Egal, he's not even scoring. Egal, it's bad. Yeah, he's not even scoring.
I know. And I'm thinking, as much as we hold Foden accountable for his performances, make fun of Savio for not scoring goals for a long time, Bernardo Silva is spoken about as a world-class player. I could say he's been playing bang average this season, and he holds a lot of accountability for some of the performances you guys have been having because Kevin De Bruyne has been in and out of the team. Savio's his first season. Phil Foden had injuries. What's Bernardo Silva's excuse? Why isn't he holding more corn for the performances Man City are having? Because Erling Haaland is the big man and he's going to hold a lot of the credit. But Bernardo Silva, at his big age, who's been there, who's one of the more experienced players, considered world-class, is sitting there and is one of the most passive players throughout the 90 minutes. And I'm looking at him.
He's not great, Egal. He's not.
I'm looking at him compared to the PSG players. Let's be honest. Besides Ruiz, the other guys are all young. How is Bernardo Silva going into a game and he's getting bossed by these young kids?
He's done.
You know what?
I think if you look at
he's been having bad games for the.
Can I ask a question to the City fans, if people allow me? Yeah. Why is every time if Kevin De Bruyne is not holding Phil Foden's hand, Phil Foden doesn't look great? He looks all right. Yeah. He just looks like a good
Why didn't he hold his hand today more? Why didn't he hold his hand?
He didn't, but that's the problem. When Kevin De Bruyne didn't have a good game today, Foden had an average game.
Are they becoming Kevin De Bruyne FC now? He's passed. Hold on. Let me just land. Let me land.
De Bruyne was not good, and the rest of the team are not good.
Hold on. Listen, they have passed the mantle from Rodri to Kevin De Bruyne FC, and when Rodri has a stinker, When KDB has a stinker, khalas, nothing's happening, no goals are being created.
All
of a sudden,
we won this title twice without KDB. We're not a soccer team. We're not a soccer team.
Listen,
we're not like you.
I'm not gonna sit here and be. I'm not gonna sit here and be completely shameless. I actually want to speak objectively. I see a lot of people saying this whole thing about City are going crazy right now. City are doing this. City are doing that. But in my opinion, they've not even like focused on the main place that needs work. And the main place that needs work in my opinion is the midfield, bro. That midfield needs to be rebuilt. Yes, I know certain aspects of the defense need to be rebuilt as well, but I think your midfield is key for the manager that you have. Pep Guardiola's midfield is so important to how you guys play. And the fact that he hasn't worked on his midfield and they haven't brought him players for them. I thought you guys would be in for Douglas Luiz. I thought you guys would be in for Kimmich. Kimmich ain't even signed a contract yet.
Kimmich sucks,
bro.
Bro, they're gonna get Douglas Luiz and finish above you in the league, bro. They're gonna get Douglas Luiz and finish above you in the league. Watch.
Listen. Let me.
Yeah,
just
they won.
They
won.
What do you mean they won? They're 6 points behind you, bro. They're playing with Emirates.
We're gonna. They're gonna come to the Emirates, and what they're gonna do, bro? What are they gonna do?
Wait, isn't this embarrassing though? That
I'm not scared. I'm not scared of these guys.
Wait. Mo, isn't this embarrassing that a shit Man City is still 6 points behind you guys? This is bad though.
No, I'm not an Arsenal fan, bro. I'm here supporting.
No, you are.
I'm going to go to some of the comments that have come in here. Ruben Diaz went off and they fell apart, is what James said. Yeah, I'd love to know, James. By the way, it looks like a beautiful looking German Shepherd there in your profile. Big up yourself. But what is there been any news yet about Ruben Diaz? Was he injured?
He has to come off.
Apparently, he's out for 2 weeks.
He has to come off. Yeah. He felt something, so he has to come off.
That makes sense. Runin here says Dembele, Barcola, and Neves were fire. Yeah, they were all Brit. But all of them amazing. Probably the best performance I've seen in a long time from Ousmane Dembele. Decision making was good. Finishing. Hope City are tired. Well, yes, and it's at the. Oh, listen, come on, Chelsea. Come on, Chelsea at the weekend. Let's go.
The funny thing.
As of now, Liverpool will probably face the winners of Real Madrid's playoff match. Might be some interesting games early in the chaos. That's the only thing, because you play the teams that have finished lower, is you might get a few of those teams that have struggled. Can you imagine if Liverpool come top, don't lose a game, and then they get Real Madrid in the first knockout games? That'd be a little harsh.
Game's the game.
So mind turning off the slow mode? Yeah, I can turn off the slow mode. I didn't know that I put it on. This sounds really arrogant. I don't set my own streams up, so I didn't know it was.
That's AJ's job.
I didn't set it up. Yeah, that's dumb, bro. That's dumb. So this panel is going to allow. Sorry.
Yes.
So this panel is going to allow this from City fans. Well, look, I think. Listen, they've been challenged. I think, Dave. I think they've been challenged tonight and everything else. Like I do think that's happened. This weekend. This weekend, City's midfield or Chelsea's? Chelsea should run through there.
They've got legs. They have got legs for days.
Is Lavia fit?
Don't think so.
When is Lavia ever fit?
But still, they've got Caicedo, they've got Enzo Fernandez.
You know what's funny though? You know what's funny? This is when you find this silly City team ends up winning. This is what they do. They end up winning. I'm telling you, they just say, and you're like, why? Why have you won? But anyway,
do you think Pep's personal issues is one of the reasons why City are performing so bad?
No, let's leave that. No, allow it.
No, I think it's because of Rodri. Honestly,
yeah, I haven't done any content, and I haven't even tweeted about Pep's marital situation because I don't feel that it's relevant. I'll just say this on it right now. Everything I've read about it, because I have read about it, seems like it's very amicable as opposed to like a massive feud. I think it's to do with Rodri's injury. And I think some players are bloated on success, poor recruitment, and a couple of players have burnt out. And all those things have happened almost at the same time, like the perfect storm. I don't think it's anything to do with that and whatnot. Madrid can make the top 8 still. Crazy format, in my opinion. Yeah.
Can they really?
Hang on. Let's just look at
that.
Can
they really?
Yeah, hang on. You keep asking. I'm just we'll wait. We'll get there. So let's take a look here. So Madrid are currently on 12 points. So yes, they can because
they won.
Leverkusen are on 13. They could potentially go in as high as 6th what's their goal difference saying? Their goal difference is no. They win, they're going to fit. So again, if Milan, if Atletico, Milan, Atalanta win, and Leverkusen win, then they can't. But then this is what they can. But also that also means that everyone above them, so Bayern Munich, Dortmund, Brest, Lille, Feyenoord, Monaco, Villa, have all got to lose as well, essentially. Have all got to not win as well. So they can mathematically.
Lille play Feyenoord, actually.
Yeah, yeah, and you might find
what city, Terry, what city's chances? Can you check Man City's chances?
You you can't make the top 8. Just want to put that out there. That is so they can, but it's probably,
I mean, like, at least.
Yeah. I mean, you're in. You guys are currently sitting 25th. You're 2 points off of 24th. So you have to win to not be eliminated. It's win or bust, which makes your game really fun, actually, because you've collapsed a few times in the Champions League this year. But yeah, on Madrid, they can make the top 8 mathematically, but based on probability, it's very hard because of the amount of things that have to go their way. This is how it should be. City being irrelevant. They're not irrelevant because we're talking about them. But do you know what I would say? I love City since they've become a little bit more vulnerable. They're fun for the first time in 8 years. Your games are entertaining. They're entertaining.
Oh, don't do that. Don't do that.
It's true.
Yeah, it's the first time. It's the first time we watched City and we're entertained.
No, it's not the first time you've watched.
It is the first time.
It is.
Stop this.
We actually tune into City games and are like, wow.
You've been tuning in for a long time. The fact that we lost, you find it more entertaining. I get that.
All City has to do is win because if they win, Brugge go to 25th. Yeah, no, absolutely, Tevin. Good to see you, bro. No Lavia or Enzo. So it's 11. So it's 11-11. So it's 11 or sorry,
so it's 1-1 or 2-2.
Score prediction.
Oh my God! How are Chelsea fans that confident going to the Etihad? It's fucking crazy to me. Bro.
Do you know what? I think they should be. I think that anyone who plays City at the moment who's good, I think wins. I really
even
do.
At the Etihad. Even at the Etihad.
Man United did it.
Yeah, maybe you won different way. You think Chelsea are gonna play the same you play?
But that's like us beating.
It's a dog. One of the table teams in the Premier League are going to Man City, and they're like, we're not scared. They're stretching.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna go 8-0. Chelsea win. 8-0. 8-0. Arsenal won tonight. What are you saying, Saad?
Listen, man, it was big up the snore along. Do you know what I mean? I was dying, bro. Do you know what I mean? It was quite a boring game, bro. But listen, we got the goals.
Tend to be boring.
Coming from you, that's mad. Pot calling the kettle black, bro. It's nuts. But anyway, listen, we got the goals. We managed to win the game. We're through. I think technically now we're through in the top 8 because I don't think, apart from Atalanta, I don't think anybody else can catch us unless they score like 6 or 7 goals, which would be crazy if they did. But we're through into the next round, into the round of 16, which I'm happy with. There were some performances in the game which I was happy with. I was happy with Martinelli's performance, taking on his man consistently, trying to get in dangerous positions, playing well. I think Arteta took a risk with playing Kivior and Zinchenko. In my personal opinion, this Kivior guy just needs to go back to the Serie A. Like we're getting so many like people in for this guy. Can we just sell him, try and make a profit? Khalas, salamu alaikum, and let's go to get another centre back that we can bring in and just have there. Do you know what I mean? If not, try and bring somebody in to cover that space from the academy if we've got somebody. Or go and get somebody that is a seasoned professional that actually knows how to be comfortable on the ball and calm on the ball, because Kivior is a nervous wreck on the ball. And the worst thing is he tries to do this whole let me just do a little flick. Let me try and do what Saliba. Like, you're not Saliba, bro. Like, stop begging it. You're not Saliba. You're not that guy with this great ability on the ball, or you're able to get out of stuff easy, bro. You're a clunky guy at times. Gabriel, I think, was good. Timber got caught out a couple of times, but are still very good. Who else can I speak about? The midfield. I saw a lot of people. I saw. I'm
surprised you haven't mentioned Havertz yet.
Yeah, because I'm not speaking about Havertz.
Why?
The thing is, I'm done with this guy. and I've had enough.
So I didn't watch the game. I watched only the goal.
I
only watched the first goal. I didn't watch the game.
People are going to sit here. Can I speak?
Go ahead.
Shukran, Habibi. Shukran.
Go ahead.
I'm not going to sit here and gas up Havertz. This guy had one good game. This is a madness if we sit here and start glazing over Havertz, doing a madness. Oh my God, look at this. Look at Havertz, assist and a goal. Wow, look at what he's doing on the... Bro, we need all of our strikers gone, and we need to bring in new strikers. We're in a situation where I'm not going to sit here and gas up Havertz's performance today. In regards to the midfield, I did like both the midfielders, Rice and Jorginho. I think they played very well. I saw a lot of people trying to disrespect Jorginho and say he played shit. But in my personal opinion, I think that Jorginho was very good. Apart from sometimes, and I don't know whether this is an instruction. I'm starting to think this is an instruction because every single midfielder that we have does it, which is there's a clear passing lane. The player is open for a pass, but they hold the ball for too long. Every single midfielder we have does it. Every single one. Rice, Jorginho, Partey, they all do it. I don't know whether this is instruction from Arteta. If he's telling them this, brother, you need to stop. Just let them be free. Let them pass. First time passes. I want to see them get the ball to the attackers as quickly as possible. Sterling is a waste of space, a piece of shit. And I wish that guy can get out of my fucking club as soon as possible. Because I don't like... He's maybe one of the worst players I've seen.
You're so angry tonight.
You did do wrong today.
No. I'm so happy with the win, and I'm happy. I'm so happy with the win, and I'm happy with performances. But when I see Sterling on the pitch, it gives me like brain aneurysm.
No, but what did he do wrong today?
Yeah, what was wrong with today? Like, why are you lashing out?
Egal, it was awful.
Are you guys crazy?
I didn't watch the game.
I don't know why V is.
I didn't watch the game. I'm asking, why are you angry? I didn't watch the game.
Everyone is saying Raheem Sterling was so bad that they just couldn't take it. Like
this guy wasted every single opportunity, and like I said, he just slows down.
I mean, I wouldn't have personally called him a piece of excrement, but he wasn't good. Like Saad's you're wilding out a little bit, but
no. But to sit here and call him a piece of shit,
Saad's always over angry.
Hey, the left-hand side was cooking though today.
Yeah, the left-hand side was.
Zinchenko, Chelsea cannot sell him for large amount of cash because he has been so shit for Arsenal. So that's the only positive I can take from Sterling.
So no one is gassed about Arsenal winning back.
I'm happy, but let's keep it real. Let's keep it real.
I expected Saad to be gassed, bro.
You can't be gassed. It's a 3-0 win. It's a convincing win. It's a professional performance, as Terry would say. And Martin Odegaard getting on the goal sheet, Rice getting his first Champions League goal, Havertz getting on the goal sheet, seeing good performance from Martinelli, seeing a decent performance from a lot of the players. Also, Zinchenko coming back in and looking good. That might be us putting him in the shop window, trying to get someone to come purchase him because he played really well. I thought the whole team played relatively well. Obviously, I'm not gonna chastise anybody today because we won 3-0. But Dinamo Zagreb, this is what we're supposed to be doing versus teams at home in the Champions League. After 2 minutes, I never felt like this game was at risk at all, and that's how we should be. And these kind of performances kind of give you confidence versus lesser teams, but against the bigger teams, better teams in the group stage. When we get into knockout rounds, we're gonna have to see how we face because we still have the attacking issues. We could have scored 5 goals. I felt like at times.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's chastised. When he said chastised, that made me laugh. I was watching
something. What is the difference?
There's not the same word, mate.
Okay, my bad.
I don't know what chastise means, but chastise is obviously.
I don't think chastise is a word.
I don't think chastise is. I was watching a show earlier on today called Landman. I don't know if you guys have watched it on Paramount. Very, very good. And this woman in it turned around and said,
chastise is rebuke. It's like you're saying that you rebuke that thing.
Yeah, but you're not. Yeah, but you used it in the context of chastising someone, so like criticizing them verbally, or it's so. But yeah, I was watching, and she said to this bloke she's seeing in the show, she went, "Oh, you've messed up now. You're going to be down the creek without a pickle." And she made me laugh because I say a lot of things wrong, and I love it when I hear other people do it. I find it a beautiful thing. Kai Havertz tonight gets on a goal, very well taken header, gets an assist. Saad doesn't want to praise him. I'm not too sure why he's hating. Would you praise him tonight, Egal?
Who?
Kai Havertz.
Saad's a hater. We know that.
Kai Havertz. You do realize we're talking about Saad. He's never gonna praise him again because he put his neck on the line for him. He let him down and he's hurt. I'm just gonna say this. Kai Havertz, we know what he is. When he gets service, when he has a decent game, I'm gonna give him praise. Today he deserved praise, but the assist in itself wasn't really like a fancy assist. It was kind of lucky. It came off him. Anyway, overall, I'm gonna say, you know what? 8 out of 10 performance. I'm not going to really complain. There's not really negativity for anybody today. And I think, Saad, you can even admit 8 out of 10 performance from the guy. You don't have to say he's a.
Can I just clarify? That's really good.
Can I just clarify what I'm doing here? I'm not gonna fully get back onto the train with this guy until he gives me 5 consistent games of good performances, because I don't know what Havertz I'm gonna get.
And you say,
am I gonna get Havertz that's able to? Am I gonna get Havertz? No, he had a good game today, bro. But what I'm saying is, I'm still. No,
yeah, but bro, we're not. What was it? But bro,
I want to hear Saad.
I think it's a 7-7 maybe 7.
You're hating, bro.
Yeah, but bro, let's keep it 100 though. Let's keep it 100, right? We're not here to talk about how we all feel about Kai Havertz in general. We're talking about today's game in isolation. So when we're talking about today, we're just talking about what he did today. What he did in his last few games, we've already spoken about how shit he's been. So today, we can at least say he gave us a goal and he gave us an assist. So he deserves credit for that. No one's saying put him on a pedestal and start comparing him with the world's best strikers and talk about how we no longer need a striker. You know what I mean? So I think...
You know what happens, though? Whenever you have a good game, we don't have to say he's the best player, second coming of Iniesta or something like that. We don't have to do that. Because that's what I see from other fan bases also. It's not just Arsenal. But if he does have a good game, just be like, yo, he had a good game. Keep it up. I want you to prove me wrong. Because I feel like, Saad, you're on the fence. You're on the side of...
He had a good game. Wallahi, he had a good game.
Saad, just say he starts for Madrid. That's it.
Guys, I'm telling you right now, Havertz gets into the World XI, guys.
Do you know you didn't make me laugh, Saad? Is you reminded me of when I was young. I was really naughty one term at school and I got in trouble. And I remember I had to get every week. My form tutor had to collect reports from my teachers that I had to take home to make sure I was being a good boy. I was a naughty kid at school. And I remember after I was grounded, I was in trouble, and I took it home, my first report card from school, gave it to my dad. And Dad said, really, really good. I was like, can I go out again now? And my dad kind of gave me a speech like you just gave, but he went, if you're good every week for 5 weeks, then you can go out. You just laid the law down to Havertz like you're his dad. That made me laugh. It gave me a flashback. I only lasted 3 weeks and I got suspended again. I don't think it's my fault, though. That weren't my fault, though, because the teacher pushed my brother. So I had a fight with a teacher.
So your parents put you like on a performance review.
Sort of. I just fought a lot at school. I was a bit of a hothead at school. Calm down these days. Nate, what did you make of Arsenal tonight? You said earlier that it was a little boring, which I would agree with. But was it boring because it was just so easy for you, or do you see it a different way?
It was boring because I didn't feel like there was that level of urgency after the first goal. I didn't think the performance was as, dominant or exciting as you may want it to be when you're playing a significantly inferior side. But at the same time, it was professional in the sense of we did the job, we got the results that need be. I mean, I was watching both games and found myself the game was a bit of a lull at times. And I think Saad touched on that. But, there were positives in the sense of I saw Martinelli today being a bit more of a two-way threat. I think his performances have picked up a little bit more over the last 2 games. He's a bit more unpredictable in the sense of usually he'll kind of always run down the wing and cut onto his right foot. But nowadays he's been, in this game today, he was using his left foot and deliveries were a lot better than they usually are. I mean, his delivery for the second goal it put on a plate for Havertz. It'd be criminal for Havertz to miss. I mean, he took the defense out and the keeper out with that cross and put in a really, in a perfect position for a striker to score a goal. Havertz today, as Egal touched on, I've not been Havertz's biggest fan, and I'm still on the train of we need better. He can't be you know, the first team striker at Arsenal. You know, if he's a rotational piece, fine. Even for what he's paid, it's still not
ideal.
It's still not value for money, right?
Yeah,
but at the same time, at the same time, I think, you know, he had a decent performance today. I think Trossard coming on and have an impact for the third goal as well. I think he was one of the shining lights against Aston Villa, so it was nice for him to pick up on that. It's almost as if some of these attackers have heard there's potential for a new attacker to be coming in, and you're seeing a little bit more performances. I don't know if I'm reading too much into that. I don't know if it's, you know, but generally speaking, they do say competition breeds, you know, breeds better performances, and, you know, to see an upturn in Trossard and Martinelli's performance, which we haven't seen over the last couple of months, is quite promising. I think from a rotation perspective, it was nice to see the manager, you know, give, you know, play some minutes. Zinchenko, Kivior. I'm not Kivior's biggest fan, but at the same time, whilst we're in this set of fixtures where you're playing every 3 games, I think it's important that you kind of refresh the squad, because we're going to have to go again on a weekend and again after 3 days again. So all in all, I think we could walk away as professional performance from the squad. I mean, Raheem Sterling, I kind of feel sorry for Raheem Sterling. And it's kind of down to the perspective of, not to say he's good enough, I just feel like you got to platform him in the right position. I don't think Raheem Sterling is anywhere as effective throughout his career as, barring maybe City as an out-and-out right winger and expected him to create. I think he's a player who thrives, who would do better on the left-hand side. I think on the right, he's expecting 1-2s and quick interchange to get the best of him. He doesn't have
Nathan. Don't do that, man. Come on, Nathan. We saw him on the left, and it stunk the same way, bro.
But listen to what I'm saying to you, bro. I'm talking about platforming a player to give you his best. That's not to say that he's good enough. So those are two different conversations we're having here, right? Those are two different. I've not once sat here and said Sterling is the answer on either flank. But you have to platform players so that they can play, you know, so that they can give you the most out of it. It's like we were talking about Haaland earlier.
Here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. Pep put that guy in a very good system where he could utilize what he is best at, which is getting onto that back post and getting a goal in, getting him in the positions where he had the most space to utilize his pace and utilize what skill he had and his shot, bro. Pep put him in a very, very good system where he could utilize what he's good at and hide what he's bad at. Arteta is not Pep. So the reason why we got him is that was the final fuck you and middle finger from Edu before he left. Clearly. So with this guy, I'm done. And the thing is, with this guy, I'm done with Sterling. And the thing is, we can't even like cancel his loan. Like for real, they said no cancellation.
I get what you're done with Sterling, but I do still think what Nathan's saying is right. If you're going to get any type of tune out of him, put him in the position that he played the best in, rather than in a position that he wasn't even that good in when he was in his pomp. I think that stands to reason. You know, if you had a really good fullback in his day who's looking a bit tired now, you wouldn't put him in central midfield or as a centre back. You'd go, let's just keep him into his position. We'll make him stay back. You know, I think that's, if you guys have got to keep him and you don't sign anybody else, I think there's a lot of truth. There's a lot of truth.
I think we should just put him. To be honest, Nathan, you're trying so hard, Nathan. Raheem Sterling is never going to be the answer for you. If Raheem Sterling is the one you're going to rely on, just right off the season, bro. Raheem Sterling is never going to be the guy.
But then you're misconstruing what I'm saying, because I've never asked us to rely on Raheem Sterling. That's not been the argument. It's about, we have him in the squad, right? So we're going to have to use him in certain games. So if you're going to use him in certain games, create a platform to get the best out of him. No one's sitting here saying Sterling needs to start every single game. Do you want my opinion?
Promote a youngster better than him because he's on loan. Just write off this check. Bro, write off the check and then just take your L and then move on. Promote another guy.
Raheem is not that bad. Raheem is
bad.
I literally played him on the left-hand side against Bolton.
We made a mistake.
Yes, he against Bolton, but he still performed very well in that position, and he had a youngster.
Let's keep it real. Reece Nelson going on loan, Raheem Sterling coming in, we got worse. Raheem Sterling 10 weeks. Raheem Sterling is not better than Reece Nelson. Raheem Sterling is not better, I would say, as an impact player this season than Eddie Nketiah was last season. Sometimes you actually get worse by getting rid of some of your squad players that you don't think.
That's my point, Egal. I agree with you.
I hear that, guys. Let's get some of these super chats here. First one says, I never understand why people fully insult players. That's a human being, human being vibe, brother. Leave it on the pitch. Cursing them out is insane.
Don't watch my watch along for don't watch my watch along then for firing like this. Just don't do it. If that bothers you, just don't do it.
Arsenal fans are the worst. Can't say a player had a good game because you hate him. What does GT?
Get the
fuck out of here.
Yeah, there we go. Kai Havertz had a good game. Do you know one thing I was going to say? I'm not slagging him off at all because he can't help this. When I watched Gyökeres earlier, I still can't believe Sporting started him on the bench. But the goal he scored, he had the one thing, and Kai Havertz doesn't have it in his locker. That ability to power past somebody, just you drop a shoulder and you power past someone and shoot. And I see Kai Havertz in good position sometimes, and he just doesn't have the physical prowess to be able to do that. And I'm not blaming him because you knew what you were getting before you bought him. But if you guys can bring someone in who can power past defenders, that's just an extra 5 goals maybe a season, which makes a huge difference.
What do you think of Sesko?
Yeah, look, I think Sesko's good. I think Gyökeres is better. But then Gyökeres is 26, 27. He should be better than a 21-year-old, But I think that the positions your number 9 gets themselves into, I think Šeško will do a better job more often than Kai Havertz.
He can't create chances for himself, and that's something what Victor Gyökeres does well, is that he can create chances for himself.
Yeah, and that's what I like about him, to be fair.
I get that. Manny here says Kai's 2GA doesn't deserve any praise, apparently. So I actually thought he's touched for the first goal. I thought the touch for the first goal was really good. I thought he meant it.
I can see there's like a trend here of what these. Listen, guys, all I'm gonna say to you guys, is listen. He had a good game today. Yes, Kai Havertz had a good game today in regards to scoring and assisting. But I didn't forget that this guy is one of the sole reasons why we are in none of the. Well, we're still in one cup competition, but he's one of the sole reasons why we got out against Manchester United at home, people. Yeah, and then instead of you guys actually sitting there and understanding the situation that we're in,
wait.
Hold on a minute, because this guy sits here.
You're gonna get mad.
This guy sits here and says, "Oh, Raheem Sterling's not that bad." That's like me sitting there telling you Kyle Walker's not been that bad. That's like me sitting there saying Kyle Walker's been all right.
Today's a match reaction. Am I not supposed to react to today's game?
No. 100% you are. 100% you are. But if I'm still not happy with the player, I can say, okay, maybe let me say he had a good game, but I'm still not happy with the guy.
Bro, I'm not happy with him either, though. I'm not happy with Sterling. So that like I think you're looking at my arguments as two different things. I'm not happy with either of them. I want upgrades on all of them. However, you can still say do things to platform them so they can perform their best. Those are two different arguments, and you can have the same. You can have those two different conversations, and in the same space. They're not conjoined together, right?
I don't think Saad should be allowed actually to criticize Kai Havertz for the amount of waka wakas he sang on streams on every single platform.
Saad's only angry because he backed him and it's back. It's like a lot of Man United fans did that with Ten Hag. They went all in for how great he's going to be.
And then like a woman that's cheated on him, basically.
And then he did. And then when it went wrong, they're like, this man's a fraud. No, you just got it wrong. It's not that he's a fraud. You got it wrong.
Terry,
your guess was wrong. Yeah.
He was slapping his chest and everything, saying, my player. Now he's sitting here calling him a fraud. What are we doing? Saad, it's okay.
Listen, man. We make listen. Sometimes you place your bet on the wrong horse, bro. Do you know what I mean?
It's okay. It's okay. Like, one second, guys. You don't have to call him caca, but you still don't have to call him crap. Also, just be like,
all I'm saying.
He is what he is.
You know what?
We could just summarize this real quick.
All I'm gonna say,
had a good game.
All I'm gonna say is sometimes you place your bet on the wrong horse or donkey in this case, but
sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
This is how I know.
Yeah, I hear that.
If we ever get to winning back major honors, it will just take one bad season for him to call that same player who won us a league title shit also.
No. You're missing something. Yeah. I value consistency over long periods. Yeah, and I value consistency, especially when they give you that goal scoring threat and their goal scoring threat, and they end up winning you a league title, bro. Brother, that's something that you have to respect, and that's called credit in the bank. Something that Kai Havertz doesn't have is credit in the bank right now. Yeah, Kai Havertz doesn't have that. But anyway, let's move on because
I agree. I want to move on from the Kai Havertz conversation because I think we've done it to death on the show today. Steve.
I'm gonna head out if you're not gonna talk.
Yeah, no worries, bro. Yeah, no worries, bro. Steve, what happened today at Bayern Munich? 3-0 defeat to Feyenoord after Benfica collapsed last night. Not been a good couple of days for you in the Champions League, Steve, my boy.
No, not at all. Yeah, I said before the game, Feyenoord would win. You cannot trust this Bayern München team at all, really, particularly away from home against half-decent opposition. De Kuip is one of the last grounds I would ever want to go to as an opposition fan. That atmosphere is bonkers. They really, really perform well consistently there. But having said that, Leverkusen did a few months ago go there and win 4-0 very easily and made Feyenoord look disgraceful. So that just shows the real level between the two clubs right now, Leverkusen and Bayern München. But yeah, everything I said about Bayern is happening, and this is what happens when you get arrogant and you have a mediocre transfer window where you get Olise, yes, but then we bring in Paulinho. Company doesn't favor him. Either way, he's injured, so it doesn't matter. Plays Goretzka, this freaking bum, as a midfielder. He's terrible. Did nothing in the game. Kimmich, one of the most overrated players in a long, long, long time. He's not a midfielder. His ego is out of whack. He's a right back, but he thinks he's a midfielder. He was woeful today. Sane came on, did nothing. Coman came on, did nothing. Gnabry came on, did nothing. Kane had two really good chances, screwed both of them up. Musiala as well. I thought we were Musiala FC, but then when he doesn't play good, nothing goes good. He was very poor tonight. Olise was not good tonight. Feyenoord defended extremely well. Trauna and the other bald center back, Hančko, Slovak center back, were brilliant in the air. They defended 1v1s really well. Shape was great. They always had a threat on the break through Haj Musa and other winger Igor Paschal. Santi Jimenez showed what a real 9 looks like. He's got physicality, good first touch, so many striker instincts that you want in a 9. He's brilliant. He had 2 chances tonight, one from the penalty spot and one from a long ball from Guiche Small. It was an excellent finish. Neuer was a hologram in goal. He's done. This Bayern München team just continues to show me how overrated we really are. Company is not the man for the job, trusts the wrong players, doesn't get enough out of the squad as a whole. And we look horrible away from home against decent opposition time after time after time. Freiburg this Saturday, that's probably a loss because they're a half-decent team. Lost to Aston Villa this year, lost to Mainz, lost to freaking Barcelona. Drew with the worst Dortmund team I've seen in a long-ass time. So, yeah, we're not going to win any trophies. This is another game to show why. And, yeah, it's really about it, bro. I don't know what else I could say. We're following the pattern of others. Juventus had a decade of winning Serie A titles. Look where they are now, complete rebuild. We're not going to avoid that. Look at Man United. They had domestic dominance for a long time. Once you lose that first league title, though, and you go years and years without it, it's really hard to get back up on the throne. And people thought, oh, it's the Bundesliga. We're richer than everybody else. Yeah, but we're not being smarter than everyone else. That's what it is.
Is your game this weekend in the league or cup?
Yeah.
In the league.
We're out of the cup. We're out of the cup.
Yeah. Who did you? Oh, you're playing Freiburg. Okay, yeah, they were 8th. Do you have a feeling that Leverkusen will catch you?
Of course. Of course. They're going to win a cup double again. Yes, league and cup. Because their manager is far better.
Do not win the league this season.
We won't.
Like, should it has to be a conversation
what do you mean?
on if Harry Kane is genuinely got like...
You know what it is with Harry Kane? Harry Kane is the definition of wrong place, wrong time. Every career move he made of the two that it's wrong place, wrong time, bro. That's what it
Bayern
is.
have
He
literally
came to Bayern
dominated the
5
league
years
as well
ago.
for about 10, 11, 12 years. Like
They
literally
finished-
in a row. Harry Kane joins, they don't win the league.
But that's literally what Steve just said. It's
Yeah,
wrong.
yeah, I know. Yeah.
He has joined at the end. Do you know what's ironic? We won't.
It's
right?
a shame. It's a shame we were doing City. Sorry.
No, that's right.
Yeah.
No. I mean, the City deal.
Because maybe
But
even them winning.
even last summer when Man United wanted him, and it was more like, no, I'm more likely to win at Bayern Munich. We won an FA Cup, and we could still, like, if it had been with, if we had Harry Kane now, like, there's a chance of winning a cup competition still. Can you imagine if in the 2 years he's been at Bayern, Man United have more trophies, as bad as we are? It's actually crazy.
What I'm starting to worry about with Kane is that he's not even doing the dropping deep and playmaking no more. Because if you look at his touches, I bet there wasn't barely any. His finishing, it's looking a bit. He hasn't had an open play goal in the Bundesliga, and I think all comps since November. Open play.
Wow.
So he won us a game against Gladbach that we also were very, very fortunate to not lose, to be honest, because we missed sitter after sitter after sitter. I'm very, very worried, but I knew I'd be in this position, bro. This is what happens. You have your time at the top as a club in sport, and eventually you do have a barren spell. It's inevitable. So Leverkusen, I would be shocked, and I'd crash it more on them for not defending their title than us winning it, to be honest. We're not people give us a benefit of the doubt for what reason? Why? We're not the Bayern team with Alcantara, Lewandowski, Javi Martinez, Hummels, Prime Neuer, all these guys, Philipp Lahm, these guys.
I think people give you the benefit of the doubt domestically because typically speaking, you rarely are up against teams that are as good as this Leverkusen side. Right. If you think about the last 10 years, how many other German teams have been for 2 years running have been as good as this? Dortmund have had their moments, but that's probably why people go, they're going to win it though, because it's inevitable. Because more often than not, you're in a one-horse race, as an example. And I think that's what's ironic about this. Say Leverkusen didn't have this resurgence and weren't very good right now, you'd probably be clear at the top of the league by 10 points, and any frailties wouldn't be being focused on too much. Which is why lots of managers at Bayern have lost their jobs after winning league titles, but not doing well in the Champions League. Because I think you're bored, knowing in their heart of hearts, there have been many a year where winning the league was relatively easy, and the Champions League performances are. And it's interesting as well because I know that they won last night, Barcelona, but both Company and Hansi Flick at the start of the season for the first 2 months, it was this is what Thomas Tuchel should have been doing last year. It's not a defensive Tuchel, but it was maybe an overreaction to the start of Vincent Kompany at Bayern Munich. The same as Hansi Flick. Now, I still think he might win something this year, Flick, and he's still a very good manager. Yeah. But they had that wobble in the middle, and everyone's like, oh, maybe we've got a little bit ahead of ourselves. This is what happens. There's peaks and troughs. There's ups and downs, especially for Kompany. He's only been a manager 3 years, and he's probably now realizing what real pressure looks like as a manager.
I think what also plays a part, right, is the fact that Bayern have had a monopoly over the German league, right? There isn't the same level of financial capacity that your rivals have. So you can go.
But they're being smarter with their money.
They are, but I'm saying
we got Ronaldo for free, and we paid how much for Guerrero, who gave away a penalty? That penalty that we gave away towards the end of the second half. There was seconds left. Feyenoord at 4v2 break. Jimenez was breaking. You had Haj Musa. You got another midfielder go up. He slowed down a bit, passed it over to the left. I think it was to Stengs, and then he trips over Stengs for no reason. So at the dying minutes of the second of the first half. Give away a penalty. Jimenez blasted it home. Bro, we're doing what bad teams do, is finding ways to lose. And I'm telling you right now, in this Champions League, our firepower cannot overcome our shambolic defense. Every single Bayern game, Upamecano's crashing into Neuer. Neuer is in la la land, passing the ball around for no reason. Kim is losing some aerial duel somewhere, and then Davies, who's injured now, because for time after time after time, he's had to have recovery pace to bail out Upamecano, who isn't in the freaking TV picture of the frame of the picture of the goal for the first Feyenoord goal. That's not the first time it's happened this season. Bro, this team is doomed to fail. It's doomed to fail.
There we
go.
So
in the Champions League, if we played Arsenal, we would probably lose. I wouldn't favor us. Again, any half-decent team away from home is beating us.
I understand that. Super chat here. Steve, what team do you not support in the Champions League?
Bayern, man.
The good ones. I know it's the Champions League show, but you saw my boy Ollie. Yeah, Ollie did win his first game today, 4-1. So congratulations to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer back in football. When
Who's
you
he
come, Batitskas.
Oh,
Yes, yeah. When you come from the same hood as some of these players and you know their family, you appreciate more why saying they didn't play well is enough. Calling them expletives when you haven't kicked a ball makes you look a chump. Well, listen, everyone is free.
I'm a chump. That's fine.
No, he's not talking. He ain't talking about you. He's talking about what Saad said earlier. But at the same, I think people say that, and listen, each their own, and everyone views it differently. Where I do sometimes agree with, and I don't know what you said tonight, and maybe you would, but a lot of people say things online that they would never say if they were in front of players, and therefore, like, would the energy be the same? And I understand that, and it's not for everybody, and but people come on these shows or people are doing watch-alongs, and you are in the heat of the moment, as an example, and emotions can run high. They certainly can. But I want to appreciate the super chat. Thank you very, very much indeed. Gents, I want to thank you all for coming on the show, all of our panel tonight, all of the super chatters as well. Thank you very, very much for coming on, super chatting, keeping the channel going. Thanks for all hitting the like button. We're back tomorrow with more content, including reactions to the Europa League games featuring Spurs and, of course, Manchester United as well. Until next time, everyone, look after yourselves. Take care. Goodbye. God bless. And well done to PSG.